Hi, this is Craig with Craig's Lawn Care in Duncan, Oklahoma, and today we're going to be changing oil on a couple of the Scags. First night day we've had in a while, but usually when it's nice in Oklahoma this time of year, it's windy, so it's going to probably be a lot of wind noise, so I may cut out a lot of the audio for that. But anyways, I wanted to go over how we changed oil in our mowers. Usually I do this at the shop, but since the mowers are still sitting here with the trailer at the house, we're going to do it here. First thing, we use this Mighty Vac. Oh, let's set it up here. This Mighty Vac MV7400. We use that for actually sucking out the oil. Modern mowers, you know, a lot of them have that little hose, and it's a lot easier to change the oil, drain the oil than it used to be. But it's been a pain in the butt with some of the mowers I've owned in the past, so we just went to using that thing a few years ago. It works great, keeps the oil contained, so that's kind of what we do. The other thing, we got this handy little tool for taking the oil filters off, and this thing comes in real handy, so that's what we're going to do today. Like I said, it's going to be pretty windy outside, so I don't know how much of the audio. I'm going to try my best to get some of it shot for you, so we'll just go from there. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is work on the Scag 48 Cheetah. The oil filter on this one isn't too bad to get to. It's tucked back in there a little ways. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's back in there a little ways. Nothing too difficult. Over here on the V-Ride, it's right out there in the open, so it's easy peasy. So anyways, usually the first thing I do is I warm these up, which I already have. Get the oil a little bit thinner, obviously, because trying to suck cold oil out of a mower is not easy, and we've been really cold the last few days. Today's the first day it's been of any temperature to go outside and want to mess with things. So I warm the engines up a little bit till they get a little bit warm, you know, warm to touch, not hot. Obviously you don't want to burn yourself. And then we just take the dipstick out. You have to excuse the dogs. If you own a German Shepherd and a Boxer, you completely understand. Those two are always fighting. Playing, I guess, but it's kind of hard to do it like this. Stick a hose down in there like that. Come back to this thing. Get a little suction going. Let it do its thing. It's a relatively easy process. There's nothing to it. You don't have to worry about loosening the hose or the drain plug and having issues with it down the road. This way there's no really opening the system, so there's less chances of anything really going wrong or contaminating anything or anything else. Pumps, let it do its thing. Usually while I'm doing that, of course it might be a little bit harder, I will get the tool on there, get it set where I want it. Hard to do one-handed. It's already sucked it all out. You can probably hear that. Alright, right now she's empty on oil. So just let it do its thing, get every little bit it can out of it. Scratch it on there. Turn this thing. Enough to loosen it. set this oil filter to the side because I actually use this old oil on my utility trailer beds. I'll just set that right on there. Just got done staining this. Usually I mix it with a little bit of diesel, let it soak into the wood. In a couple of days it'll soak all the way in and help protect and waterproof the trailer bed. It gives me a lot longer life out of the boards on the trailer. If you keep doing that, it'll soak right in and might just last forever. I don't know. Obviously it's not going to last forever, but you get the gist. So all right, got that done. I'll pause this and go get the oil filter for it. All right, now it's completely sucked out all the oil. I've already taken the oil filter off. I'll set this over here. You have to cooperate. Doing this stuff one-handed, I'll tell you. Alright, I'll set that there for now. Alright, first thing I usually do is put the oil filter on. Little tip. Most of you already know this, but if you're going to do it yourself, you want to put a light coat of oil around the ring, the oil seal, and then you want to place it back on the motor. So I get a good angle for you guys, just like this. Snug it up. Once it's snug, give it about another quarter of a turn. You don't want to over tighten this. I never suggest using the wrench to tighten, put them back on, because you can deform that ring just enough that it'll leak. So I usually make sure it's pretty good and hand tight, and then that's done. Nothing to it. Funnel in there, make sure it's clean, which it is, because I just cleaned it out. Get the funnel down in there the best I can. It's a little awkward on this one. And then put the oil in. I use full synthetic, usually Valvoline. I have used Royal Purple in the past. This is an FX691V, so I know it takes about 2.2 with the oil filter, so we'll put about 2 in it, and then we'll check it, run it. Alright, we got the cheetah done. Now we'll come over here. This one will be a little bit easier to show you guys just because it's more open. So first thing we want to do is obviously clean off this tip since it did hit the ground. I don't want any dirt getting into the engine at all. A little piece of sand or anything will really cause havoc on the motors. Alright, let's set this one over here. Same process. We'll stick the little hose down into the filler tube. Make sure you're hitting all the way to the bottom. Pump this to create a vacuum. You can see the oil is starting to come up. I give it 8-10 pumps usually. Let it do its thing. While it's doing that, grab the oil filter wrench. This one-handed stuff. Alright, that's tight on there, and just give it a little turn. If I can get this stupid thing to... Turn it. That one's on there a little tight. And like I did with the other one, I ran this one a little bit, got the engine warm. Obviously not hot enough where you can't touch it, but you want the oil to be a little bit more thin. This thing will pump it when it's thick, but it takes forever. And we've been seriously cold up until the last few days here in Oklahoma, so I just ran this a little bit until warmed up some. This is a perfect example though why I use this. Right here is the drain plug. We actually had problems with this when we first bought this. This thing leaked right off the get-go. Had it back to dealer 4 or 5 times before, well I think it was 3 or 4 times actually, before they ended up replacing it. And the hose is down underneath there, and it's just in a kind of an awkward spot, so doing it this way is just so much easier. I highly recommend that Mighty Vac for this stuff. It makes oil change just so much easier. We're gonna get our t-shirt down here, because inevitably this oil filter will leak some oil. There's just no way around that. Try to catch as much of it as I can. As you can see, it's sucking it all up. Probably can hear it too. I'll let it do that while I'm messing with the oil filter. Oil filter up here. Same thing with this one. I'll set it on the utility trailer and I'll get that oil on that bed of that trailer. Oil on the nice and coated on the ring. Same thing with this, you don't want to over tighten it, obviously. Oh. This is a good example of how to do it. So much easier on this one. Spin it on until it makes contact. Get about a quarter turn out when it gets snug. Do not over tighten these. Like I said, you can deform that ring and then it'll leak on you. Don't ask me how I know, right? But you know, just hand tight, just like that. Okay, the vacuum is done sucking everything out. So we'll move that out of the way. I'll set it over here for the time being. Get our funnel in there. This funnel does not fit on this one as well. Right, this is going to be a two-handed job, so I'm going to have to put the camera down and do this. It's going to be two hands, so let me set this camera down. Alright guys, we got the oil into the V-Ride 2. I'm sorry about that, I just couldn't get the funnel to sit in there and hold the camera at the same time. So we got the oil on it. I've started them both up. I run them for a little bit, recheck them, top them off, and got them set. Sometimes it takes a little while for that oil to settle all the way down in the bottom, so it reads right on the dipstick. So what I'll do is I'll pull these on the trailer, and the first time before we use them for mowing, I'll check the oil like I usually do and make sure they're right on. You want to be very aware that you've just changed the oil in them and the oil level may or may not be exactly right. So you want to make sure that first time you go to mow you've definitely checked the oil level after they've sat a little while, let all that oil run down into the tube and settle down in the crankcase where it needs to be. So don't ever change the oil. Think you have it right and go right on out and mow without checking the oil. That's a no-no. Don't do that. That's pretty much it for changing oil on the Scags. All in all, it's a pretty easy process, and you can save a lot of money if you do it yourself, obviously. I mean, I've learned to do almost all the maintenance on these things myself just because my dealer is so far away. So I hope that helped somebody out there. If you want any information on that Mighty Vac, just message me or just Google it. That little oil filter tool, I got it, I believe, Harbor Freight. You know, it's $5-6 bucks. That thing's awesome. I use it for my vehicles and for all the mowers and stuff, and it's worked pretty well for us. Until next time, this is Craig with Craig's Lawn Care. You guys have a blessed day, blessed season. Peace.